In a world where we're quick to complain when things go wrong, we rarely celebrate when things go right. This silent habit is costing your business valuable relationships, but there's a surprisingly simple fix. So in today's video, I'm going to explain why professional appreciation matters more than ever in today's business environment. You'll learn why recognizing competence has become rare, how this affects your business relationships, and most importantly, I'll teach you a practical approach you can implement immediately to create a culture of appreciation that improves your business outcomes and professional reputation. I was working with a new supplier on a time-sensitive project, and not only did they deliver everything exactly as specified, but they also anticipated a problem I hadn't even considered. So when we were done, I followed up formally to say thank you. Not to be polite, but specifically for doing their job well and for being a pleasure to work with. And they replied. They said, "Thanks for actually noticing. Most clients just move on to the next thing." And this whole interaction got me thinking about two things actually, both of them related. Have we really reached a point where doing your job properly is so uncommon that it warrants special recognition? And secondly, why aren't people saying thank you? I mean, sure, we've all dealt with partners who consistently fail to follow through, or frustrating service providers who overpromise and underdeliver. And not just in business, but in our everyday lives as well. You interact with people who are unnecessarily difficult, or who simply don't seem to care. So it's easy to become jaded. These negative experiences accumulate and start to color your perception of the world around you. Then, every once in a while, at least that's how it feels sometimes, we come across someone who just gets it, and actually delivers, and with competence and courtesy. It feels like an anomaly, startling even, an encounter worthy of praise simply because it's so uncommon. It might even make your day. And in that moment, you realize that this should be the norm, not the exception, and that something is seriously wrong with our professional standards. Think about that for a little bit. That feeling of being pleasantly surprised when someone actually does their job properly, or when a client pays on time, or when a supplier delivers exactly what they promised, let alone more. That surprise you feel, it shows that there's a bigger issue at play. It's almost as if this standard for professionalism and basic decency keeps sinking lower. Now, whether that's perception or reality is beside the point, because there's a second, closely related issue that needs addressing. It's really the other dimension of the same problem. As standards seem to be declining, we must also look inwards and ask ourselves, why aren't we saying thank you anymore? This isn't merely a matter of common courtesy or basic human decency, which is important, but it isn't what we're focusing on right now. There's a real professional imperative and business opportunity here as well. So why does professional appreciation actually matter? Well, first, it strengthens relationships. When you acknowledge someone's competence and professionalism, you're not just being nice, you're building loyalty. It also creates reciprocity. When you express genuine appreciation for someone's work, they're more likely to go the extra mile for you next time. And to others as well, hopefully. They'll remember how you made them feel. In the end, we're all flesh and blood, susceptible to the same problems and emotions. And perhaps most importantly, it helps you identify and retain the people worth working with. In business, finding reliable partners, suppliers, employees, clients, that's half the battle. When you acknowledge excellence, you're essentially flagging the people you want to keep in your professional ecosystem. But there's more to this than just business benefits. There's also a powerful personal element. By actively looking for things to appreciate, you train yourself to notice the positive. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or settling for mediocrity. Rather, it's about maintaining perspective and not letting cynicism become your default setting. Because, let's be honest, many of us, myself included, have developed a bit of a sarcastic edge after years in business. It starts as playful venting, but can easily become a genuine outlook if we're not careful. So how do you actually implement a practice of professional appreciation in your business? Here are 3 simple principles. First, make it immediate. When someone delivers excellent work or provides exceptional service, acknowledge it right away. Don't wait for a formal review or the end of a project. Send that email, make that call, or mention it in your next meeting. Immediacy amplifies impact. Second, being specific makes it more meaningful. Now, don't get me wrong, saying "great job" or thanks for your help, that goes a very long way. So don't let worrying about being more specific stop you from expressing appreciation in the moment. But if you can identify exactly what impressed you, the impact is much greater and can leave a lasting impression. Was it their attention to detail, their foresight, their communication styles? Let them know. It shows that you're paying attention and that their efforts haven't gone unnoticed. And third, consider visibility. Sometimes, when appropriate, saying thank you in front of others amplifies your appreciation. Copying someone's manager in a thank you email, for example, or acknowledging someone's contribution to a project during a team meeting rather than privately, even perhaps by leaving that supplier a thoughtful public recommendation online. Remember, this isn't about grand gestures or expensive gifts, it's about consistent, genuine recognition of people and organizations who uphold the standards that should be commonplace. And it sounds something like this. Thank you for the attention to detail on this report. Great job taking the initiative on that problem yesterday. I appreciate you stepping up to help the new team member. Nice work on that project. Well done keeping your cool during that difficult meeting. Now some of you might be thinking, shouldn't people just do their jobs properly without needing constant praise? And yes, ideally they should. Professional competence shouldn't require special recognition. But we don't live in an ideal world, and we are not robots. We operate in an environment where standards have slipped, where many have become accustomed to mediocrity, and where those who excel often feel their efforts go unnoticed. Your appreciation isn't coddling, it's reinforcing the behaviors and standards you want to see more of in your professional environment. Some people worry about coming across as insincere with frequent praise. That's a valid concern, and I guarantee that what you might feel could be perceived as insincere will be appreciated anyway. The occasional praise that might miss its mark is far outweighed by the many moments your words will lift someone's spirits. Consider the alternative. By remaining silent to avoid any possibility of seeming disingenuous, you deprive others of recognition that might brighten their day or affirm their efforts. The risk of occasional awkwardness pales in comparison to the connections strengthened through sincere acknowledgement. And yes, appreciation must be genuine. If you don't mean it, don't say it. But I'm hard-pressed to believe that you aren't able to find anything positive worth acknowledging. The key is to train yourself to notice good work when it happens, not to manufacture appreciation where it isn't warranted. Let's make an important distinction. Saying thank you and praising someone for their good work is not the same as giving them feedback. They may seem similar, but serve different purposes, especially within a context of a team. What we've discussed so far works well for clients and suppliers, but for anyone who reports to you directly, it's only part of the equation. Appreciation is expressing gratitude. It acknowledges good work, but doesn't specify why it was effective or how to reproduce it. Feedback, whether positive or constructive, is instructional. It helps people understand specifically what worked or what didn't, and why. Positive feedback isn't just praise. It's not meant to make a person feel good. It's targeted information that helps someone repeat successful behaviors. Feedback sounds something like, John, by arriving 15 minutes early to set up the presentation, it gave us time to test the equipment and start the client meeting smoothly. Thank you. The mechanics of delivering effective feedback is a topic for another video, but understanding this distinction is very important. While appreciation builds relationships, feedback drives improvement. Your team needs both, independently delivered and for different purposes. So here's a challenge for this week. Identify 3 people in your professional circle who consistently deliver value. It could be a team member, a service provider, a client, or even a competitor doing something you admire. Then take a moment to let them know specifically what you appreciate about their work or approach. I guarantee you'll strengthen those relationships, and you might be surprised at how that small practice begins to shift your own professional outlook. We've explored why professional appreciation has become increasingly rare and why this presents both a challenge and an opportunity for business people like you. We've discussed how recognition strengthens relationships, creates reciprocity, and helps build a network of reliable professionals. Your 4 key takeaways from today are: Number 1, professional appreciation isn't just nice, it's strategic. It helps you identify and retain valuable business relationships. Second, Make appreciation specific, immediate, and appropriately visible for maximum impact. Number 3. By actively looking for excellence to acknowledge, you train yourself to maintain a more balanced perspective in an often frustrating business environment. And number 4, setting and maintaining high standards starts with recognizing those standards when you see them. And finally, remember that you're setting the example yourself. Be the professional you wish to encounter more often. Be courteous, deliver on your promises, and do excellent work. Excellence is contagious when properly acknowledged. And if you want more actionable advice for balancing personal growth with business success, then click on the playlist link in the description below and consider subscribing to this channel. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.